distinguished participants of today's National Tourism Day, ladies and gentlemen. For me, it is something extra special to be speaking on the National Tourism Day, given the fact that I have spent time in the state government as well as the government of India, working in the tourism sector. And therefore, it is especially relevant to say that as we talk about tourism products, we heard Secretary Textiles who elaborated upon the various arts and crafts and textiles of the country, which are unique and so attractive. Secretary Culture has spoken at length about the cultural heritage of India and how it is part and parcel of India's global tourism attraction. So too is the case with our Environment and Forest Ministry, and recognizing the fact that ecotourism is such an intrinsic part of the country's conservation program as well as tourism plans. This ministry has come out with very detailed ecotourism guidelines which were issued in October 2021. These are guidelines which really spell out the vision of the ministry of how we can develop, how we can join hands. All stakeholders can work together to tap the ecotourism potential of our country, given the fact that with 981 protected areas, and these include tiger reserves, sanctuaries, marine zones, all of them go up to make the tremendous biological diversity of this country. The vision of this ministry is that we have to be able to involve all the stakeholders, right from the communities which work, which live in these areas, and the ability for their livelihood opportunities to be strengthened through responsible and sustainable ecotourism, to the entire vision of the tourism ministry as such, to fully tap the ecotourism potential of the country. What we envisage is that there is a tremendous opportunity for us to join hands. And therefore, these guidelines which we issued very recently, they work on the principle of very detailed plans coming out from the state by the Department of Tourism and the Department of Forests and the state government working together, where the community, the district and the state are part and parcel of the entire ecotourism story. There will be many aspects to ecotourism that will have to be developed. The capacity building, the skilling requirements, the finance, the integration with many of the startup initiatives of the country. And last but most important, the awareness about the need to preserve nature, to conserve, to protect all our wildlife, our flora and fauna, is something that has to be fully integrated with the ecotourism plans that are developed by the state government. I'm sure that these 90, which just for the starters, we have circulated in these guidelines, these 90 places that we've listed out, they cover various types of national parks and sanctuaries across the country, but these would be just the beginning. We could go forward and identify more such areas, and given the fact that many of these are somewhat remote and far-flung, how we can harness the power of technology to properly capture the value inherent in these ecotourism sites and to bring them up to the discerning tourists will be part of the plan that has to be developed. The other part, which takes care of the conservation and protection aspect that is so intrinsic to this ministry's responsibilities, is also something that has to be mainstream. And therefore, here I would particularly appeal to all the stakeholders of the tourism sector, the tour operators and all those who are part and parcel of the tourist experiential aspect. They have to be fully in tune with the country's objective of eliminating plastic, of reducing pollution and controlling the aspects of noise pollution, especially in the wildlife parks and sanctuaries. So this has to be integrated with the plans that are developed at the local level, district level and state level. And I'm sure that once we come together on a platform, we could energize all the different stakeholders so that this vision of tourism being harnessed in its full potential can be realized by all of us working together. So let me conclude by saying that it is a pleasure for me to be a part of the webinar today on National Tourism Day. And certainly this ministry would be very happy to work forward and to work with the tourism ministry and all the stakeholders in tapping the tourism potential of our ecotourism sites, but in a manner which is responsible, sustainable, and inclusive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. That was indeed, I think a lot of it came from the heart, viewers. Don't you feel that? I think, ma'am, the fact that you were here and therefore your linkage, and I am told by everybody here that part of your heart still lives in tourism. So it's been really wonderful hearing from you and looking forward to a lot of work together. Indeed, as ma'am said, not only are we supposed to take tourism forward, but how to do it in a sustainable way. How to make sure that the communities and everything else that nature has given us is not, desecrated as we go along. I think this is a very important point that ma'am has raised, and we look forward that in this very special year that we celebrate the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we shall not only drive tourism but do it in a sustainable manner.